Hi there, I'm Zach Shake, and this is my colleague, James Mbala Thunkar, and we are from Magid's Emotional DNA team. And we're going to be talking to you today a bit about the monster hit that is Yellowstone, having recently completed its fourth season. Talk a little bit about why it's been so successful, some of it to do with its distribution strategy, and just really looking at whether there are lessons to be learned for development and for marketing and distribution as well. So I think the first thing to establish is the fact that it's been a hugely successful show, and it's delivered 9.3 million viewers in its most recent season, and that's the live plus same day rating. That's a rating that's traditionally been diminishing over the last few years as people migrate to streaming platforms, and so Yellowstone really did buck the trend for that. Obviously, it's a brilliant show. That's a big part of it, but also its availability was a bit different, and it had a slightly different distribution strategy.
Yeah, and it's connected to the genesis of the show. It basically came down to Peacock TV versus CBS All Access, and it's been reported that Peacock TV simply outbid CBS All Access for rights to the show. And from that, now we look at today, and you have previous seasons of the show on Peacock TV, and current season only on Paramount Network linear. So it got us thinking of non-exclusive deals. Hindsight's 2020, but it may have been a better strategy to sort of look at, okay, in a way, if you're a studio licensing content out to other platforms, but if you're a studio that has its own sister company that's also a streaming platform, having a non-exclusive deal would be a way to monetize and sort of harness cultural trends and global phenomena like Yellowstone, and being able to fully take advantage of it. And right now we're even seeing, I know this started off with rural viewers, but the show is hitting all the trends, and it would have been great for Paramount Plus to be able to monetize this.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think it goes back down to what's the goal for the parent company, because if it is about driving subscribers, which it seems to be for most people, then absolutely Paramount Plus. But if your goal is to maximize ad revenue on a cable channel, then you could argue that even though it wasn't planned in advance, the strategy worked out well, because if people can't get the latest episode on streaming very easily, and they've got to wait for the next day, and they've got to get it on the Paramount app, not Paramount Plus, the streaming platform, they end up, their behavior shifts, and they end up just watching it on DVR or live.
It's tough though, because when you even look at 9.3 million viewers for Yellowstone, fantastic number, but it's only within the context of the present. It's been reported, if you were to rewind 5 years ago, Big Bang Theory had 20 plus million viewers. 9.3 would have been ranked in the 40s as far as top scripted programming. So sure, it's great in the present tense and in the context of where we are today, but it does, is that enough to monetize? We don't know the numbers exactly, or is it a better strategy to look at subscription? But ultimately, I think it does come to non-exclusive deals, so you can pivot in ways that you need to, especially if you're a studio that also has a streaming platform as a sister company.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, 9.3 million views wasn't a huge number 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I do think Yellowstone is also different because I think how it grew. There was a Wall Street Journal piece about the fact that shows traditionally start out with the early adopters, being in much more urban areas in your big cities, and with Yellowstone it was the reverse. The early viewers of that show were rural viewers. They were watching it live in that first season, and it eventually has filtered out to people in the cities to become the phenomenon it has. And I think that might imply also, from a programming perspective, are there local markets and local stories that can be, the development teams can be focused on more.
Yeah, even this one, looking at the show, there was low expectations for the show set in rural Montana, but lo and behold, being able to harness cultural trends that you don't be able to see, that you can't see coming, the data can't necessarily predict. This is a way to do that, would be being able to pivot very easily. And we've even seen with Yellowstone in our favorite metric in eDNA, and how our favorite metric is a huge predictor of being able to acquire and retain viewers for platforms. And Yellowstone's on the top of the list. If we look at even our latest revealings, it's more so than Game of Thrones, it's more so than Ted Lasso, the UEFA Champions League. It's top of the line there.
Yeah, I think the eDNA data is we've been tracking for a number of years, and that favorite question about identifying which one out of the shows you've answered questions and is your favorite is very illustrative of the power of a show. And I think people will shift their behavior if they love a show enough. So it's a good point. For more information on tons of programming insights that we have, not just on Yellowstone, but the almost 4,000 shows and 3,000 plus movies that we have, feel free to reach out to us on the contact details below.